The sun was just beginning to dip below the horizon, casting an amber glow over the vast, sprawling city of New Alexandria. Earth had come a long way since the end of the war with the Tz'har Dominion. The peace treaty, signed a decade ago, had promised a new era of prosperity and galactic cooperation. The world had grown accustomed to this peace, but Captain Alya Gray wasn't so sure it was real. Alya leaned over the command console aboard Prometheus, her flagship, a sleek, formidable warship now docked at Earth's spaceport. Her eyes scanned the blinking readouts, her mind as sharp as ever, but tonight there was something different. She couldn't shake the nagging feeling that something wasn't right. There was a whisper in her gut, a whisper growing louder with every passing day. "Captain!" Lieutenant Tz'har's voice broke through her thoughts. The young officer's face flickered on the display. "A secure message just came through from High Command. They want a report on the latest peacekeeping operations." Alya sighed, pushing the swirling unease aside. "Tell them it's routine," she said curtly. "Everything's as it should be." Tz'har hesitated, and Alya could see the conflict in his eyes. "Captain, there's something else. A transmission came through from the Tz'har ambassador, Threx. It's encrypted." Alya's interest peaked. "What's the content?" "That's the thing," Tz'har said, looking uncomfortable. "We don't know. It's being flagged for immediate review. Seems urgent." "Send it to my personal terminal," Alya ordered. She glanced over at the warship's secure terminal, her fingers tapping out commands, pulling up the encrypted message. Her mind ran through 1,000 possibilities. Threx, the supreme ambassador of the Tz'har Dominion, was known for his calm demeanor and seemingly endless charm. He had been humanity's ally, or at least that's what the peace treaty said. But Alya had never fully trusted the Tz'har, nor had she ever believed their motivations were as pure as they claimed. Alya's fingers hovered over the screen as the message decrypted. Her heart skipped when the first line appeared. "The peace treaty was a lie." Her pulse quickened. She leaned in closer, reading the next line. The transmission was broken up in fragments, as if someone was trying to hide something, deliberate distortion, fragments of images, partial words, a jumble of static and noise. Yet there was one consistent thread. "Humanity cannot be trusted. You are being watched. The Tz'har's plan is inevitable. You will be shown the truth soon enough. Prepare." Alya's throat tightened. She scrolled through the rest of the message, but it was useless, just more static and fragmented code. It felt like a warning. But what was it warning her of? What had she missed in the treaty all these years? Her hand hovered over the terminal's console, the words hanging in the air like a heavy, unanswered question. The peace was too easy, too convenient. Earth had disarmed, its military reduced under the terms of the treaty, its borders now a web of galactic cooperation. Human colonies had been integrated into the larger interstellar community, but at what cost? The thought haunted her. Had humanity's weakness been carefully orchestrated? Was peace really the goal? Or had Earth been a pawn all along? The door to her quarters slid open with a soft hiss, and Commander Morrow, her first officer, stepped in. His sharp eyes immediately took in Alya's tense posture. The terminal opened before her. "What's happened?" he asked, crossing to her side. "Something's wrong, Morrow," Alya said quietly, not taking her eyes off the screen. "This message, it's from Threx." "Threx? What does he want now?" Morrow's voice was laced with suspicion. "We've been playing nice with the Tz'har for years. Why would they send a message like this?" Alya turned her chair to face him, frustration flickering in her gaze. "That's what I'm trying to figure out. The message, it says the peace treaty was a lie, that humanity is being watched. And then it cuts off. No explanations, just cryptic warnings." Morrow's brow furrowed as he leaned in closer to the terminal. Have we had any other strange communications from the Tz'har? Nothing like this, Alya replied. Not directly, but I've been seeing the signs. The disarmament, the military oversight, the way they position themselves in key positions of influence. It's almost like they've been orchestrating this entire piece. And now, I'm starting to think it was all part of a plan to weaken us. Morrow's face hardened. So you think they've been using us? All along? I don't know yet, Alya said, her voice tight with frustration. But I can't ignore this. Something bigger is going on here. I need to get to the bottom of it before it's too late. Morrow nodded, a sense of urgency settling in his chest. What's our next move? We're going to the heart of it, Alya said firmly, standing up. She adjusted her uniform and looked Morrow in the eye. I want to meet with Rex. In person. There's something he's not telling us, and I'm going to find out what it is. Morrow hesitated for a moment before speaking, his voice low. You know that could put us at risk. If they're really plotting against us, confronting him could be dangerous. Alya's eyes narrowed, her determination solidifying. It's already dangerous, Morrow. The question is, how far are they willing to go to make sure we stay in the dark? As Alya prepared to leave her quarters, she glanced one last time at the decrypted message. The cryptic words echoed in her mind. Prepare. She knew the stakes were high, but she couldn't ignore the growing sense of urgency. The peace had been fragile from the start, but now, with the Tz'har's true intentions becoming clearer, humanity was facing a crisis far beyond what anyone had imagined. And Alya Gray would not stand idly by. Not when she knew the truth was out there, hidden in the shadows of a treaty that had promised peace but delivered nothing more than deception. She would find the answers, even if it meant risking everything. The Prometheus slipped silently through the black expanse of space, its sleek hull gleaming in the light of distant stars. Alya stood at the helm, her eyes fixed on the star chart in front of her. Her mind was elsewhere, however. The Tz'har Dominion's message from the previous night still echoed in her thoughts, a constant reminder that the world as she knew it might be crumbling beneath her feet. Captain, we're approaching the designated coordinates. Lieutenant Stenner's voice cut through her thoughts. His tone was steady, professional, but Alya could tell he was just as unsettled as she was. They had received authorization from Earth Command to approach the Tz'har embassy on Mars, but she knew that the real reason she was there had nothing to do with diplomacy. Understood, Alya replied curtly, her fingers dancing over the controls. The image of Threx's cryptic message loomed in her mind. Humanity cannot be trusted. It had been sent without explanation, without context, just a warning. But a warning about what? And from whom? Her instinct screamed that something was terribly wrong. As the ship neared the Mars orbital station, Alya's gaze hardened. The Tz'har had played their part in the galactic peace, acting as humanity's supposed allies, but Alya had always been cautious. The Tz'har were too polished, too perfect in their outward diplomacy. There had to be a hidden agenda. Captain, I've analyzed the message further, Stenner continued, his voice now tinged with urgency. There's a code buried in the static. It's something we've never seen before, but it looks like it's from within the Dominion itself. Alya's heart skipped a beat. What do you mean? Is it a threat? Not exactly, Stenner replied, his fingers flying over his console. It's more like a directive. It's too complicated to decode fully, but it's tied to a specific location, a place we've never been allowed to access, the Tz'har's Central Command Center. Alya frowned. This was beyond a simple misunderstanding. What does it mean, Lieutenant? It means, Stenner said, looking grim, that the Tz'har are hiding something. Something monumental. Alya's eyes narrowed. Then we're going to find out what it is. She turned to Morrow, who had joined her at the command station. Prepare a team. We're going in, The Tz'har embassy on Mars was a majestic structure, its towering spires shimmering with an otherworldly glow. From the outside, it was a symbol of peace and cooperation. But Alya knew better than to trust appearances. They docked at a secluded airlock, hidden from the public eye. Morrow and a team of security officers followed her as they made their way through the sterile corridors of the embassy, their footsteps echoing in the silence. "I don't like this, Captain," Morrow muttered under his breath as they moved deeper into the embassy. "We're walking into a trap, and we don't even know what kind of trap it is." "Stay focused," Alya said quietly, her voice low but determined. "We don't have time to second-guess ourselves." They reached a private meeting room where Threx awaited them, sitting in an elegant chair as though nothing was amiss. His calm demeanor was almost unnerving, his dark eyes gleaming with a faint, unreadable light. "Captain Alya Gray," Threx said, standing as they entered. His voice was smooth, almost soothing. "I trust your journey here was uneventful." Alya's gaze remained fixed on him, her suspicion bubbling just beneath the surface. "I received your message," she said bluntly, cutting to the point. Threx's expression didn't falter. "Ah, I see. I had hoped to avoid unnecessary complications. But you are nothing if not persistent, Captain." Alya stepped forward, her posture rigid with resolve. "The treaty, the so-called peace we've signed, it's all a lie, isn't it? You never intended for humanity to truly benefit from this so-called alliance." Threx's smile widened, though it didn't reach his eyes. "You misunderstand, Captain. The treaty was always intended to bring peace, but peace is a fluid concept. What's peaceful for one party may not be so for another." Alya's gaze sharpened. "What are you really after? You've been manipulating Earth's defenses, slowly weakening us under the guise of peace." "Ah, so it's come to this," Threx said, leaning back in his chair, his tone light but tinged with something more ominous. "Humanity is as quick to judge as it is to underestimate. Let me clarify things for you, Captain. You are right in one respect, the peace treaty was a tool. But not to weaken your species. To elevate it." Alya's mind reeled. "Elevate?" "Yes," Threx replied, his eyes gleaming with something akin to amusement. "Humanity possesses something the galaxy has never seen before, potential. Potential for greatness. Potential to evolve into a power unlike any other. But not while you remain shackled by your own arrogance." Alya's heart raced, but she didn't show it. "You've been controlling us, steering us into a false sense of security, and now you want to harvest humanity's potential for yourself." Threx's expression darkened for the first time. "You are too quick to judge. There is far more at play here than you realize. Humanity's evolution is inevitable. It will happen whether you wish it to or not. The question is, will you embrace it, or will you resist, as you always have?" Alya took a step closer, her voice cold. "And if we resist? Then you will fall," Threx said, his voice dropping to a dangerous whisper. "Humanity has the power to shape the future, but if you are unwilling to see what lies ahead, the galaxy will show you, painfully." Alya stood still, absorbing his words. Her mind raced. Was it possible? Could humanity truly be destined for something greater, something the Tz'har wanted to control? The message had warned her about the Tz'har's intentions, but now she was more confused than ever. "Why not just tell us?" Alya demanded. "Why all the secrecy? Why not let humanity know what you have planned for us?" Threx's eyes narrowed, and for the briefest moment, the facade slipped. "Because humanity is not ready. Not yet. But you will be, Captain. Soon enough." Alya's mind was racing as she exchanged a glance with Morrow. There was no question about it now. The Tz'har had their eyes on humanity, and whatever their plan was, it was far from over. They were walking into a future they didn't fully understand, but one thing was clear. The peace treaty had been a ruse, a carefully constructed lie designed to lull humanity into complacency. "I will find out what you're hiding," Alya said, her voice unwavering. Threx's lips curled into a slight smile. "I have no doubt you will, Captain. But know this, the truth will not be kind to you. And when it is revealed, humanity will have to decide, will it fight for its future, or surrender to a destiny it cannot avoid?" As they left the embassy, Alya felt the weight of his words pressing on her chest. The truth was out there, hidden beneath layers of lies and manipulation. But now, she was more determined than ever to uncover it, no matter the cost. The command deck of the Prometheus was tense. Alya stood at the center of the room, her fingers hovering above the console, her mind still spinning from the conversation with Threx. The Tz'har ambassador had said too much, and yet nothing at all. Every word had been a layer of misdirection, a calculated performance designed to keep her questioning everything and trusting nothing. Morrow stood by her side, his face grim, his eyes scanning the feed from the diplomatic meeting. "Captain," he began, his voice low, "what are we really dealing with here? The Tz'har claim humanity has potential, but this isn't how allies act." Alya's jaw tightened. "I know. It doesn't make sense." Threx's words didn't just feel like a threat, they felt like a warning. "He wants us to change, to embrace something darker." She turned to face him fully. "But we're not going to wait around to find out what that something is. We need to move fast." The stakes were higher now, and Alya had no illusions about the danger they were in. The Prometheus was a formidable ship, but against the Tz'har, they were nothing more than a small speck in a vast, dangerous galaxy. If the Tz'har were planning something sinister, it wasn't just Earth at risk, it was humanity's future. "How are we proceeding, Captain?" Morrow asked, his voice steady despite the tension hanging in the air. Alya took a deep breath, her eyes scanning the star chart ahead. "We're heading to Tz'har space. I've just received word from Earth Command. We've been given clearance to investigate the Dominion's Central Command Center. This is where we'll find the truth." Stenner's voice cut through the silence. "Captain, the encrypted message. It seems like it's directing us to a specific location inside the Dominion's headquarters. It's a high-security area. No one has been allowed in there before." Alya nodded, a sense of urgency flooding her chest. "Then it's time we broke the rules." Hours later, they arrived at the coordinates, a hidden moon orbiting the Tz'har's home planet. The moon was nearly invisible in the darkness, a speck among countless others. As the Prometheus approached, the ship's stealth systems engaged, cloaking them from any external sensors. "This is it," Alya muttered under her breath as the ship eased into the atmosphere. "If we're wrong about this, we may never get a second chance." Morrow stood beside her, his hand resting lightly on the edge of the console. "If we're right, Captain, humanity's entire future is at stake. This isn't just about the Tz'har. This is about us. We have to be ready for whatever we find." They docked at a hidden facility on the surface, the cold, desolate landscape around them betraying nothing of the activity within. Alya's team, now suited in black tactical gear, filed out of the ship and into the cavernous base beneath the moon's surface. The facility was a labyrinth, its walls lined with high-tech equipment and reinforced doors. They moved quickly, following the encrypted signal that led them deeper into the complex. The air was sterile, almost suffocating, but Alya's focus remained sharp. The further they went, the more she felt it, an unease that grew with every step. This place was more than just a command center. It felt like a trap, meticulously designed to ensnare anyone who got too close. "This way," Alya said, her voice steady but with an edge of urgency. They reached a large, reinforced door, the final barrier before they would reach the heart of the Dominion's operations. Stenner's hands flew over the control panel, hacking into the system. The door hissed open, and a low hum echoed from within. Inside, they found rows upon rows of control stations, each one manned by Tz'har technicians. At the far end of the room, a massive central console flickered with holographic displays. Threx was there, waiting for them. Alya's stomach clenched at the sight of him. His calm smile was still in place, but there was something darker behind his eyes. The pieces were finally coming together, but what they revealed was worse than she could have imagined. "You shouldn't have come," Threx said, his voice like silk, but with a hidden venom. "You were never meant to know." Alya stepped forward, her pulse steady despite the rising tension. "What have you done, Threx? What is this place?" Threx's smile widened, his eyes gleaming with cruel amusement. "You think you understand, Captain, but you're still playing the game by our rules. Humanity is special. You've been chosen to evolve, to reach a higher purpose, and we—" He gestured to the entire room. "We've been helping you along the way." Alya's eyes narrowed. "Helping? By crippling us? By controlling our every move? You've used us, used Earth as a tool for your own agenda." Threx's expression didn't falter. "I never said you wouldn't be tested. In fact, this is part of the process. The treaty, the peace, it was all designed to bring you to this point, when humanity's true potential could be unlocked. You were never meant to stay stagnant, Captain, but to ascend. And now, you'll understand what we've been guiding you toward." The room seemed to close in on Alya. Her mind raced. "You've been manipulating us, creating the illusion of peace while preparing for something worse. Why, Threx? Why do you need humanity's potential so badly?" Threx paused, his gaze piercing. "Because the galaxy is on the brink of a new era, Captain. An era where only the strongest will survive. Humanity will be the foundation of that era. And you will either stand with us, or you will be left behind, lost to history." Alya's breath quickened, but she didn't back down. "Not if I have a say in it. We won't be your pawns. We won't let you control us any longer." Threx chuckled softly, his eyes narrowing. "You still don't understand. The truth is, you've already lost. The decision has been made. Humanity's fate was sealed the moment you signed the treaty. We were always in control. And now, you'll see what happens when you fight against the inevitable." Alya's mind raced as she processed the enormity of what Threx had just revealed. The peace treaty had never been about peace. It had been a calculated strategy to manipulate humanity into submission. And now, Earth was on the verge of being drawn into a galactic war for supremacy. Alya took a step forward, her voice cold and resolute. "We've only just begun to fight." Outside, on the barren surface of the moon, the Prometheus stood ready, a silent witness to the unfolding chaos. Inside the facility, Alya and her crew were no longer just pawns. They were the first wave of humanity's fight for freedom, a battle that would determine the future of not just Earth, but the entire galaxy. The game had changed. And now, Alya Gray would stop at nothing to ensure humanity's survival. The truth was out, and the real war was about to begin.